Hello everyone, this is Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is your weekly Angel Oracle card reading for the week beginning July 17, 2017. For this week, I'm going to be using the messages from your Angels Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, and of course pulling a color card from the Healing Crystal Oracle deck by Rochelle Sharman. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can go to my website at angelsouls444.com, the services page. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'll leave all that information down below. And of course, I still have courses up on Gumroad as well as the year overviews. So let's get into it here and let's see what we have coming up for the week of July 17th. So I'm just going to focus here for a moment. Oh, I did want to address something. Somebody left a comment and said, we can't see you shuffling. I want to see you shuffling. I am shuffling live, like right in front of you. What you can't see is me choosing the cards. And the reason why I do that is because, well, like otherwise I'm kind of far away, just the way I have to set up my shot. And so when I'm editing, I pull it in. So I do film me pulling the cards, but you know, if you're in that level of distrust, I think that is something that you really need to look at. You know, if you don't trust me as your messenger and you don't trust that I'm pulling the cards the way that they should be pulled, you know, I'm not offended if you feel like that's not good enough for you, but I'm not going to change the way that I do it. I would rather have you guys be able to see the messages that are coming through me and be a little closer in than be really far away and then you can't see the card. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of a weird editing thing, but again, that raised a very interesting question, like why does it bother you that you can't see that I'm pulling the cards? Do you see what I'm getting at here? So again, I'm not offended. I always say find your messenger, find who you resonate with. There are some readers who actually don't talk to you face to face. They just have the camera on their hands, and if you're more comfortable with that, by all means, you know, you could do that as well. All right, so now I'm going back in. Okay, let's see what's going to be coming up for the week of July 17th. Correcting of course. I just heard correcting of course. And let's see what that means. Some of you might be taking a different route. And remember too, you know, and I was just going through this. I went for a hike this morning, was doing a meditation. And what, you know, a lot of you know that I was doing that trilogy, the Matronia trilogy, and I was asking them, like, what happened there? It was like I hit a brick wall, and they just kind of flowed this understanding over me, and I knew that I had chosen to stop that project because I didn't like what people, you know, where the world was kind of going, what people were doing with information, because my book was taking some liberties with metaphysical topics, and I think I just kind of really on a deep level knew that if I put the book out there as is, people are going to take that as fact, and that people were still too much in a worshipy kind of space and just wanting to believe anything that makes them feel comfortable, that I didn't feel responsible putting that book out. I am still kind of recently getting kind of pulled back to maybe change it a little bit. I don't know. That could be an endless process. But the reason why I'm giving you this example is that you might be going through something where, you know, a lot of times we get hung up on a message that perhaps we got, like I got that message back in 2012. I was in a very different space. The world was in a very different space. We are morphing and changing, and sometimes we're making bad decisions as a collective. And so the things that we're trying to accomplish need to morph and change and shift as well. So if you are still hanging on to, no, I know I'm supposed to be X, Y, and Z because I got that message very, very clearly. Well, it doesn't invalidate that message necessarily. It just may mean that you have to be flexible in the approach, how you get there, or maybe there's no longer a need for that particular thing and you're meant to get a new message. All right, so be very aware of that. Do not get disheartened, and we're going to see that by the first card, because again, if we're in that mindset, like if, you know, oh, I got that message, so I have to hang on to it, you might feel disappointed, or, you know, feeling like you're not getting the correct messages in. Everything changes, guys, all right, and I think that's what they're trying to get us to understand. Speaking of changes, we have a card about changes. So let's get, nope, that's not the one. Okay. There we go. Ooh, romance. Okay. 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 Okay, I'll stop. But the romance card, this is actually a perfect example of what we're talking about. Oh, I got a message that person's my soulmate. Well, maybe you're growing up. Maybe you're evolving. Maybe you're realizing that, what you really maybe want in life is a true love experience. And it doesn't have to be somebody who's coming with these immense lessons. And do you know what I mean? All right. So let's get one more card here. Oh, okay. Well, isn't this interesting? Okay, let me start from the beginning. We'll get into it here. The first card we have here is Mystique. Keep charging ahead and don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. So again, this might be a week where a lot of us are kind of feeling like, gosh, the things I thought were going to happen aren't happening. You might feel lost. You might feel, like you failed. And this is saying, no, you didn't fail. Remember, you're an integral part of the universe. So you are pulsing at the, and you have you're pulsing at the frequency you need to be at. You're doing what you need to do. But as the world morphs and changes, you have to change along with it. Okay? So this is just a changing of goals. If you're not seeing the outcomes that you had anticipated, if you're not seeing accomplishments the way that you wanted, don't worry about it. Keep charging ahead because there's new information coming to you. And for some of you, it might be coming this week. Or, as we'll see, some of you might be making a soul decision to take on another part of your soul's contract, which might be like, okay, I'm ready for love. I'm ready for true love. I don't need to put a label on it. I'm ready for true love. Or I'm ready to have a family. For some of you, you will be going through that this week where you're having that realization. It's going to be different for everybody. Some people might be like, okay, I'm ready to have a baby. And yet some of you who have been trying really, really hard to have a baby, you might back off and say, you know what? If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen from my body, I know that I can be a parent to some child out there. Please never forget that, all right? There are tons of babies and children and teenagers out there who need love, who need a guidance system. Even if you have to do it from a distance and just send prayers out and send love out, don't forget those kids, okay? You can still be a parent. You can be a parent right now if you want to be, just by sending out your love to any child in the world and trusting that the angels and God are going to take that love and that energy to whoever needs it, okay? All right, so the next 3 cards are really kind of interesting. So hang with me here as I explain them, because we have like home, love, and children. All right, so we have Celeste. A happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. So this card does kind of speak, okay, fine. So we got stuff on the surface, but please be careful. I always say this. Please be careful. If you're looking for a job, you're like, oh my God, this is the week that I get that job offer. You may not. It may not mean that, okay? It may mean that you have to shift some things in your energy at home or in the energy of your home. And this is funny because I was going to do that whole KonMari thing this weekend. I was going to start it. So that kind of resonates with me too. All right. But for some of you, it could literally be a move, or you're talking about moving. But really on a deeper level, what this is talking about is, taking different actions, taking, how should I say this? Making different choices. I mean, it's kind of overly simplistic, but you're making different choices. You're saying, okay, this isn't working for me. What this is not talking about, let's be very clear, this is not saying that you should be running away. Oh, I hate my job. I don't like my home. I'm going to hurry up and buy another house. I saw somebody do that one time. They just, and that's a whole other story behind that, but they ran off and bought a house. Like, hurried up and put their house on the market and went and bought it. I'm like, what are you doing? And actually, the house they went and bought was not nearly as nice as the one they used to live in. And they're like, oh, I just needed a fresh start. I can respect that, yo. Like, I am the girl who goes from city to city to city, wanting a fresh start and new experiences. I'm getting a little too old for that now. So I think I'm going to be stuck in Colorado for a little bit longer because I am just too tired. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't to escape. Or it's not like, oh, I hate my job and this is saying new employment, so I'm going to go out there and try to, I'm just going to quit my job and run off to a new job. No. Hang tight. Be open. Be at peace. Let things come to you. Everybody's going to be different. Let it come to you in the way that it's meant to. For some of you, this might be more conceptualized. It might be more of a, you know, how do I want to express myself right now? What will bring me joy, and how can I still serve the universe and God? And, you know, how do I spend my energy every day, kind of thing? And you're just sort of, you know, thinking about it and letting that seed, planting the seed, number one, and then giving it space to grow. Okay, so the next card we have is Chantal. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. So there's this feeling here of getting real with yourself and just kind of going, what really matters? What really matters? There's a big message here to please stop trying to tie up your human story with a neat little bow, happy little endings. You know, stop doing that, because you're going to ever be disappointed. Life is supposed to be an adventure. You're not supposed to know what's around every corner, right? That's part of the fun. And I should be air quoting the fun part of that, but because life can be tough, right? But a lot of times we get ourselves worrying too much and in a bad space because we think that this should be a certain person, or we think that it should look a certain way. We say that all the time. Or you're looking at your, you know, marriage partner and going, oh, gosh, you know, you're so this, you're so that, why don't you be more like this, that, and the other? And this card is saying, no, connect back into what love really is. Start making some real choices for yourself. Allow the love in. If somebody is, you know, there's that whole love language kind of thing. If somebody has a different kind of love language than you, let's say you're in a partnership, start appreciating that other person's love language, okay? Appreciate how they express love. If you're looking for love, this is you having to make the decision, okay, I'm ready for it. Not like, oh my gosh, you know, I really want love. And I'm telling you guys, desperation will keep love completely out of your life. Or it will attract people who are going to feed off of you and abuse you. And we have normalized abuse, you know, especially in relationships, and especially, and men go through this too, but especially towards women. We have normalized it so much that people will not leave a relationship when they know it's bad. All right. So there's a big kind of thing going on here. You got to get real, guys. You got to like stop and go, okay, so if it's not a soulmate, that's all right. I just want to be able to give my love to someone and receive love in the highest, purest kind of form. Show me what you got. Okay. And see what kind of goes on there. I could go on and on about the love thing, because again, and I've heard this too, a lot of times in the spiritual community, where people are like, oh, I want someone super, super spiritual. You know, and then you see them get with somebody who doesn't challenge them. They're not growing in this relationship. They just get lazy. So just admit it. I want somebody I can be lazy with. I want someone who's exactly like me, so I don't have to grow and change, and I can just settle down and everything's fine. What a boring life, you know? As a matter of fact, I may want to marry a scientist one day. I don't know. That's kind of extreme. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody who shows me a part of the world that, or a part of thinking, or a part of, you know, energy that I'm not that familiar with, okay? Because, you know, for me personally, I think that's what helps you expand and grow. So as long as you're not going at love or trying to get love into your life out of desperation or out of loneliness, you know what I'm saying? Start with the self-love. We say that all the time. Let this love in. There's going to be some major things going on for some of you this week where it's very like psychological breakthroughs, and you know, now you're going to understand why you don't have the kind of love that you want. You're going to start really seeing perhaps some patterns. And God bless you, anybody who's watching this who might be in an abusive situation. God bless you, because I think this might be a week where you realize it. You may not know what to exactly do with it, but the knowledge is there. Okay? Now, the final card we have before we get on to the crystal card is Seraphina. I am the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family. Now, be careful with this card, okay? Does that mean that if you've been trying to conceive a baby for 3 years, it's going to happen this week? I don't know. I don't know. Every single person and your soul's contract is so varied. There's no way for me to tell that, okay? Nor should you try to predict things like that. Because again, your energy is ever shifting and ever changing, and your fears are ever developing and what have you. So anyway, for some of you this week, it's like news might be coming. Yes, for some of you, news might be coming of a pregnancy, of a child. But this can also mean that, you know, you find out someone is engaged and they're, you know, they have a new love partner. Or you might have, like, maybe, I don't know why this example is coming up, like maybe in your neighborhood, like there's a new neighborhood kid who really might be a little precocious, and it's like Dennis the Menace, I guess, or something, like coming to your house all the time, wanting to hang out with you, wanting to talk, and yet instead of being annoyed, some people might go, you know what, this is kind of cute. Now we have a new member of our family. Remember, family is a very, very broad term. This could be new friends. This could be someone adopting a child. But again, this could be just you seeing the world as your family and sending love out, and you know, having that internal shift and that internal revelation. Okay, that you don't have to have things happening on the outside for it to be valid. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get the crystal card if I can. Okay, that was one of the times that I kind of wish, you know, you could have seen me, because it was almost like a card fall, like you know how they do in Vegas, like the cards. I caught them though; they didn't go everywhere. All right, let's get you guys a card for the week of July 17th. All right, our card is going to be Red Jasper, healthy boundaries. This is having healthy boundaries with yourself. And I'm going to say even on a spiritual level too, where we're, you know, not dependent so much on like, you know, oh, that's that message that I got. And this is very grounding. It's like, okay, like, yes, trust your instincts. Yes, trust the messages that are coming through, but you don't have to be all stuffed up in like your crown chakra in order to get a message. And that's something nobody talks about. All right. And that's a tricky one too. We're going to go down a slippery slope with that one. But yes, of course, you just want to be balanced, and just know that you are getting messages. Have healthy boundaries with others who are, you know, trying to take away your energy, or, you know, we've been talking about psychological disorders and things like that. You want to be aware of that, but not judgmental, right? But I'm getting a feeling with this. It's like, have healthy boundaries with what people are telling you is correct spirituality. Right? That's a sticky one. It's a whole other video, but have healthy boundaries with yourself about the kinds of messages that you're getting through. Don't jump to conclusions about what you're getting in. Okay? Now, I'm talking to some of you out there who just live in your quote-unquote fifth dimensional reality all the time. I'm talking to you too. Right? Because you're like, no, it must be this way because blah, 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 blah. Well, if you're not connected, and this is root chakra kind of energy, if you're not connected into your physical being and being balanced in that way, you are not going to be able to express whatever that message is in this physical realm. You're not speaking the language, okay? You're off in a different world, you know, or whatever you're supposed to be doing here. Some of you are going to be kind of landing. What the heck does that mean? Hold on a second. So, some of you people out there who are, you know, very much up in your crown chakra, you stay up in your higher frequency, and everybody's like, oh, well, that equals good. Sometimes, but remember, you're a physical being. You're supposed to be having this physical experience. So I think a lot of you out there are going to be getting some of these messages, these higher level messages, which is awesome, but you're supposed to be integrating it into the physical. Okay, so work on your balance. I think, what was it, last week? Were we talking last week about shamanism and stuff like that? That's a beautiful practice and esoteric art. I call it an esoteric art. I don't know what everybody else would call it. That does help ground you. That does help balance the spiritual with the physical. All right. So again, I don't want to make this video too long. I'm going to kind of leave it there, which might be a dangerous thing because people love jumping to conclusions about what everybody is saying. I would caution you against that. Okay. If you're listening to this video and you're like, what the heck is Michelle talking about? Go meditate upon it for yourself. Okay. And trust the feelings that are coming through. You might even want to try doing sort of a nature meditation. That's one of the things that I absolutely love doing. Going outside, I go for a hike. I'm on a quiet trail. I'm surrounded by trees and flowers and all this stuff. And I don't, you know, obviously you can't close your eyes while you're hiking and go all the way up into those higher realms, but you're very connected into nature. You're very connected and you're still getting these messages, and you're getting a cleansing, and you're being grounded, and you feel like, you know, you can handle whatever comes your way. Okay? Like you're equipped for this reality. So anyway, gotta leave it there. Have a beautiful week, guys. And of course, I'm sending you so much love. Take care.